Hi all, today we're here with some more micro reviews. Today's subjects are all of the Super Mario RPGs. While all of these games are RPGs, and Star Mario, they are also all very different from one another. These games start with the very originally titled Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, also known as Legend of the Seven Stars by pretentious gaming douchebags, and then splinter into two separate series, the Paper Mario series and the Mario and Luigi series. None of the games we're going to talk about today are bad games. All of them are very fun and very well made. There are several common threads running through every game here today. First being that timing plays a big role in the combat of all these games. Second being that none of these games take themselves very seriously. They are very humor-driven and tongue-in-cheek. Alright, now let's get down to the reviews. I will be reviewing these games in order of release. First, we have the Super Mario RPG. First released for the Super Nintendo, and it was a joint venture between Square and Nintendo. It came out at the end of the life cycle of the Super Nintendo, and was a well-received and well-reviewed game. It is very good and well worth your time to play. If you're interested in getting it, it's very hard to find on cartridge, but it is available on the Wii's Virtual Console. It is relatively short, however, and you can probably beat it in a 3-day weekend. It is worth mentioning that most of the original characters that appear in this game are currently in copyright hell, so we won't be seeing them in anything else in the foreseeable future. Next we have Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64. This was originally going to be called the Super Mario RPG 2, but legalities put an end to that fairly quickly. This is by far the easiest game of the games we'll be talking about today. Like all Paper Mario games, this is done in a 2.5D style. This game may in fact be a little too easy, as it can easily be killed in less than a weekend, and is a good place to start people who have never played an RPG before. Like the last game, it's a little hard to find on cartridge. It is, however, available on the Wii Virtual Console. Now we have the first portable Mario RPG, which is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, on the Game Boy Advance. This game is fairly long and rather difficult. The reason for the difficulty of this game is twofold. Firstly, there is the puzzles in this game, which often require a timing element to them. Secondly is the very timing-heavy combat, which is very unforgiving. All special attacks in this game require very precise timing, which isn't always clear, so if you are bad at timing, every boss fight is going to take very, very long to finish. This game is only available for the GBA, but can be found used fairly cheaply, less than $20 in fact, which is a good price, as this game will take a while to complete, and will therefore be a good value. Moving back to home consoles, we now have Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door for the GameCube. This game is both much deeper and much more difficult than the original Paper Mario. This is also my personal favorite of the games we're dealing with here today. This game does everything the original Paper Mario did, only better and more refined. It also corrects virtually all the flaws of the original Paper Mario. If you're only going to try one of the games that we discuss here today, make it this one. It is only available as a GameCube disc. However, it is fairly cheap if you can find it used, usually coming in at about $10. If you're looking for a brand new sealed copy, expect to pay more like $100. Now going back to the handheld market, we have Mario and Luigi Partners in Time for the Nintendo DS. This game features not just adult Mario and Luigi, but also baby versions of Mario and Luigi teaming up to fight fungus from space. This game is very similar to Superstar Saga, however it is much more forgiving when it comes to the timing required to do attacks in combat. Not only is the timing looser, but the cues for when the timing is required is much more obvious than in the previous Mario and Luigi game. It should be noted that it's also a little weaker in the humor than some of the other games in the series are. Still worth a playthrough, however. As with the last handheld game, it is a fairly long title, so it'll take a little while to beat. It is difficult to find this game new, as it is fairly old, an early entry in the DS's library. However, it is fairly easy to find used. Next we have the Wii title, Super Paper Mario. This game combines features from the old original Nintendo Super Mario titles and features from the Paper Mario series. This means that it's a side-scrolling action RPG as opposed to a traditional RPG. It is likely the weakest of the games we're talking about here today, but that in no way makes it a bad game. This game is just light on RPG elements, and more about doing the platforming Mario is more known for. This game also has a mechanic where you turn the 2D world you're in to another perspective. This mechanic is very interesting, and would later be stolen by the game Fez. In fact, most of the ideas from this game were stolen by the game Fez. Due to being mostly about platforming, this game does get a little repetitive. However, it's still fun and a nice time waster. This game is very easy to find new and very cheap, as it is a greatest hits title now for the Wii, so can be had for the low price of $20 new. Back on the Nintendo DS, we now have Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story. In this, at different times you play as Mario and Luigi as a team, and as Bowser solo. When playing as Bowser in the game, you are generally advancing the story forward. On the other hand, when you're playing as Mario and Luigi, for the most part, you're playing inside King Bowser Koopa's body. And while in there, you're unlocking abilities for Bowser to use, or fixing a problem inside his body. At times, you do escape from Bowser's body as Mario and Luigi, because apparently there are pipes all over the Mushroom Kingdom that lead directly inside his body somehow. The timing in combat is again more forgiving than in the last game, making it much easier than it was in the original Superstar Saga. This game's a lot of fun, and probably the second best game of the ones we're dealing with today, and it's easy to find new, and will be $30 to $40, as it's still in most retail stores. Now for the final game we're talking about today, Paper Mario Sticker Star for the 3DS. Much like the last Paper Mario game, this one cuts down on the RPG elements. There is no leveling. There are no stats other than hit points. There are no other characters to join Mario in combat. It is just Mario. Combat is handled by selecting which sticker to use, and like in other games there is a timing element. However, this one is more than pass and fail. That is to say, there are levels of success with your timing. So this game only slightly punishes you if you are not that good at timing. This is also the first game since the original Paper Mario where King Bowser Koopa is in fact the main antagonist. This game is a lot of fun, and is relatively new, having come out for the last Christmas season. So it is easy to find brand new with a price tag of $40. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed my second attempt at my micro-reviews concept. Please do tell me what you think. And you have a great day too.